everyone. Welcome to the 35th Nature on Tap talk. Very excited to be here. Thanks everyone for coming. I think this is probably the biggest turnout we've had so far. Awesome stuff. Big round of applause for everyone. I think that's a great way to start. On a positive note. While I'm up here, we've just got to say thanks to everyone else involved. Nature on Tap is 100% volunteer based, so thank you for being patient with us. But we really wouldn't be able to do it without the paddle courts. I mean, these guys have really set up an amazing job today and accommodated a lot of people. Please be patient with them. I don't think it's often that they get so many people here, so if the waiters and waitresses are taking a bit longer, just bear that in mind. PaintedDog TV, thanks to you guys for filming this. If anyone who who wanted to be here but is missing this, they can go into PaintedDog on YouTube and they can watch the talk. They can watch all of our previous talks. So thanks to them. Always thanks to Scales Conservation Fund. They really help us out logistically with our funds and things like that. Make a massive difference. And then finally, our kind of latest partner is HFM. They've really done a great job. And thanks, Guy. Thanks for I've been hearing your announcements every day. Part of the reason why the place is so full, so thank you guys. Thanks to all our partners, really appreciate it. And then I'm not going to keep you for much longer, I just want to update you all about who Nature on Tap is. So it's just a group of us, I think there's 3 of us, they're not listening. Nature on Tap, people put up your hands. They're not listening, there we go. There's Sarah over there. Okay, so it's all these volunteers, but all we're doing, so all this, some of the profit from nights like tonight will all go into a fund, and at the end of the year we'll contribute that money, 100% of it, directly to an organization that we choose. So really have a great evening tonight, have some drinks, have some food, have fun, and I think just be merry and enjoy the talk. And I'm going to hand over now, and Marine's going to tell us all about her amazing work.
Sweet, thank you. That's fine. Okay. Thank you. See. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for being so many coming in tonight. I'm quite impressed and really grateful for everyone to have joined for that presentation. Also a big thank you to, of course, Nature on Tap for allowing me to talk a bit more about our work, and of course for the paddle court for inviting all of you and myself tonight. So thank you so much. So for those of you who don't know me or haven't heard about the organization yet, so my name is Marine. I have a bit of an accent. I might be French, but it's been 10 years I'm in South Africa, so I'm kind of like half now. So I'm the director of Ingwe Research Program. So we've been operating in the Hoedspruit area since the end of 2022. So I'm going to give a brief presentation about the organization and our team. And then I'll move on to what you really came for, to understand what is the leopard population in the Hoedspruit area and how all of the data that has been contributed by all of you is helping us to understand what is happening in the area. Okay, and then at the end of the talk, we can have a bit of a Q&A session, and and perhaps enjoy some wine to take home a bit later. That's for later. All right. Okay, so Ingwe Research Program. So we are a non-profit company registered in South Africa. Ingwe used to belong to a foundation based in the UK, and then last year, so I was running Ingwe under a UK-based foundation, and then last year, my ex-bosses gave me my independence and say, fly little bird, and I've been learning to fly since then, and registered Ingwe as a non-profit, basically. So here's a bit more about the team and who we are. So we are 2 staff members, so it's myself and Jem, who is a research assistant, so he's working part-time, and then I'm being supported by a board of directors that all have different backgrounds. A lot of us have a background in ecology, and work in different areas. And then we have also someone who is more expert into the finance and business side of it, basically. So we are a very small team. So Jem is like is working part-time. So we are 1.5 basically running that whole project. But we are hoping to get bigger soon and to get more people involved, just because we are receiving quite a lot of buy-in, and I can't take everything on my own anymore, and we need the support. So that's basically briefly about who we are. And then just a bit more about what we are aiming to do. So the aim of Ingwe, so we are a very small organization, but we are aiming to get bigger with time and to increase our impact. So we are looking to effectively conserve leopards in South Africa by empowering stakeholders through practical scientific recommendation, enabled by formal research, citizen science, all of you here, novel technology and proactive collaboration. So that's what we are aiming to become in the next few years. It's not where we are right now. We're still like a baby organization, but this is where we are going basically. So I think hopefully you would carry on hearing about Ingwe for many years to come, and then we can carry on working all together and have even more of you contributing to the project. Okay, so I'm just going to give a couple of information about leopards in general. I think many of you have heard already, know a lot about leopards, so I'm not going to extend too long on this. But if you have some questions at the end, we can also go through. Yeah, there's a photo credit there that is Bruce Topham. I just want to say thank you, because he took such an amazing picture of that leopard in the agricultural field. So yeah, just a gorgeous picture. I just want to make sure his credit is being given properly. All right, so just, as I said, a couple of information about leopards. So globally, leopards have disappeared from 67% of their historic range in South Africa. Now, if we look at suitable leopard habitat in South Africa, only 20% is actually fitted for leopard. And about 63% of leopard population occur outside of protected area. However, there's a huge bias actually in research and in conservation projects in general, because most of the research focuses on conserving leopard inside protected area compared to outside, although they occur mainly outside. However, the reason behind it is just because it's much more challenging to conserve leopard outside protected areas. We have to deal with many more different stakeholders. It's just much more challenging than just working inside conservation areas. So with Ingwe, we are trying to work a bit of both and extend our reach from both sides. Then if we look at the leopard population worldwide, it's decreasing, knowing that leopard occur in many different continents, in many different countries, so the population globally is decreasing. And in South Africa, it is estimated that there's a 30% decline in about 3 generations, which is quite big. However, all of these estimations are based on a number of individuals that there's a big range in the number of individuals that are potentially occurring in South Africa. The estimates are between 2.8 and 11.6 thousand. So how many individuals are actually around? We don't know. Probably somewhere in between. But it would be nice to try to have a better understanding of what is the actual population, because your conservation, like any recommendation that we can make to safeguard leopard are going to be completely different if you have 2,000 individuals or if you have 11,000. So we need to try to get that number a bit more accurate. We never get the perfect number, but at least you have a bit of a better understanding. And then in terms of threats, I think I'm sure you know about many of the threats that are happening to biodiversity worldwide. One of the biggest one is habitat fragmentation. We are a growing human population, and looks like we're not stopping quite yet. So we are carry on taking more and more habitats, basically, and that is definitely impacting our wildlife. Predepletion, which is linked to habitat fragmentation and habitat loss in general. Human-wildlife conflicts, there's many different forms. The snares, I think all of you in the area are aware of what the snaring issue is. I think I don't have the exact numbers, but like in the northern Kruger, there's been the lion and the leopard population have been decreasing massively, I think mainly because of poaching and snaring. So it is a huge threat to the population. thanks to other much bigger organizations. I think the Cape Leopard Trust that started the whole initiative. There's now like a snare symposium that is being created to basically to try to have all the different organizations working together to find a solution to snaring, because snaring is mainly an issue that is based with the people, not necessarily with just the wildlife directly. So I think it was mid-July, there's a massive, we have a whole day where different organizations are going to be talking about potential solution, and the idea is to collaborate and work all together to find potential solution, and that can only be done if we are working together, not if everyone works in a silo. And then we have like illegal hunting for skins and then trade of body parts. And then one of the potential new threats that we don't know that we'll be talking about is roadkills. So I'm going to talk about it a bit later in the presentation, but we're wondering, are roadkills also, leopard being hit by a vehicle, is it a new threat to the population or not? Okay, just having a sip. All right, so here, I'm not going to talk about all the different research projects because it's not the aim of that presentation. So I'm going to first mention the whole citizen science project that's been run thanks to all of you, thanks to all of the reserves that have been involved with Ingwe over the past 3 years. And then I will have also a bit of a mention about our road ecology project and how you're going to be able to help us tackling the issue. All right, so through our citizen science project, we are trying to understand what is the population of leopard in the area. As I mentioned earlier, we don't know. They are different. The range, the population at the national scale is quite unknown. So, of course, we're not pretending that we'll be able to tell you in a couple of years, this is how many leopards are in the whole of South Africa. But at least we're going to focus in an area. And then if our model functions, then we can potentially replicate it and get more and more area following the same model that we are trying here in Hoedspruit, and then get combined effort with other conservation organizations that are also working in protecting leopards. We're definitely not the only one. The Cape Leopard Trust is focusing in the whole of the Western Cape. There's Panthera, who is also focusing in a lot in KwaZulu-Natal and in other areas as well. So the idea is to each work on different sections of South Africa and then combine our efforts. So for the citizen science project, basically, so we're trying to understand the population and the trend over time. How the data have been collected through times is a lot thanks to all of you, I hope all of you around there, that have been sharing sightings of leopards. So there's a lot of the guides that have been sharing sightings from when they're going on drive with the lodges, with their guests, and a lot of the citizen scientists or the residents of Hoedspruit that have been sharing any sightings of leopard in the whole area, whether it is a direct sighting, if you've been lucky enough to actually see a leopard, or whether it was with your own camera traps. I know so many camera traps are there in Hoedspruit, and it's absolutely amazing to have so many people actually, in a way, contributing to the research just by you having a camera trap in your garden because you want to know what's happening in your backyard. So thank you to all of you who have a camera trap and who are sharing all of the sightings. So since the end of 2022, there's over 400 different people that shared sightings with Ingwe. I can't say the exact number. I'm trying to keep track as much as possible. It's not that easy, but there's definitely over 400 people. There's 33 reserves that are part of Ingwe's network that I'm going to show on a map just now, and 26 different partners. The partners can be research organizations or lodges or other people basically that have different businesses in the area that are helping us with gathering and monitoring leopards in the whole of the Hoedspruit. So in total, I'll show on the map, we are basically covering about 3,200 square kilometer area. And I say we, like you are, basically, all of you are contributing to covering the whole of the Hoedspruit area. So here I'm just going to explain what's happening on the left there. You might be wondering, what is that? So that tool, the African Carnivore Wild Book, it's an AI-based platform that helps us go through all of the images that all of you are submitting to the project. I'll show just now the numbers that we've been receiving, just to give you a bit of an idea. And without that platform, Ingwe will not exist because we receive so much data that as a person, there is not a chance that 1.5% that will be able to go through all of these images. So basically, ACW, or the African Carnivore White Book, what happened on that platform is that when you submit sightings, camera traps images to Ingwe, we submit them on ACW with the GPS location, date, time, and of course the image. If it's videos, we take screenshots, and then we just put it on the platform. Once it's on the platform, the AI, it will add a box around the leopard. So it will detect the leopard in your image. And then it's going to say it's a right flank, or it's a left flank, it's the front, the back. So the AI does all of this job, basically. So that's stage one. Stage two is that the AI will go through, will put all of the images through identification. So identification is when it will compare the image that we submitted with all of the images that are already on the database. So with Ingwe, we have many, many images on the database. But what is quite amazing is that other organizations are also using that platform. The Cape Leopard Trust is using it. We're not going to get a match between the leopard from here and the leopard from the Cape Leopard Trust. But because they have themselves their whole population estimate on the platform. So the more organizations get on that platform, the more we can actually share sightings and share the number of individuals that we have in an area. So once I got to be distracted here, but like basically once we have that, the AI basically tells me this is image A. So let's say, like that's the image that that's the image that we submitted here. Then it's going to compare to a whole bunch of different images. And then it's going to tell me, okay, I think that the next image here, these two images belong to one individual. So it uses this like algorithm that is based on spots. And then it's for my responsibility to go through those images and to say like, yes, I agree with the AI. I do think those images belong to the same individual. And if so, it creates a match. And then both images go into the profile of that individual. So let's say we have, I can't remember who they are actually. Anyway, but let's say we have the male Ensakelo. I think many of you may have heard about Ensakelo. So we got an image that we don't know who it is yet. The AI tell us, I think this is Ensakelo. Then both images go into his profile. If I look at Ensakelo's profile, then I can see all of his sightings. Then I can see on a map everywhere that he's been, and I can also see which other individual he occurred. And I can finally add social relationship between different individuals as well. So I can say who is his mother, who are his siblings, a bit more difficult with males, much easier with females. So there's a whole bunch of information that we get thanks to that platform, basically. I know sometimes some of you are telling me, Marine, like my picture is so bad, I can't submit it. It doesn't matter. We're not here to do a contest about the best photography. Of course, the better the picture, the easier it is for the AI and for myself, for my eyes. But like I had matches where basically the only thing that was visible was the inside of the leg of a leopard. That was enough just to see those spots here, to match it with another picture, and to put the two and two together, and then to get an ID. So please don't be shy. I mean, of course, if the picture is 100% blurry and there's not one spot visible, then we won't be able to match that picture. However, this picture still tells us that there has been a leopard at that location at that time. And potentially we could look then, okay, there's been some like bad quality, I'm not judging anyone, but like bad quality pictures that have been submitted. Potentially it could be that individual because it's exactly in the territory of that individual. So please don't be shy into the quality of your images. So this is just a graph to show you basically how much images we received in the Hoedspruit area since the beginning of the project. So since November 2022, when I just started, so there was just a couple of images. But it's been increasing throughout the years, and we are on over 12,000 images received. And you can see every month how much images we need to deal with, basically, which is great. So thank you. Please don't stop. So I'm glad to have so much work. But it's nice to see the more images, of course, is because more and more partners came on board as well. However, out of all of these images, we managed to identify 54% of those images. There's still 46% of those images that don't have an ID yet. It could be because like the picture is too bad, or sometimes I have quite a lot of individuals where I have only right flanks and only left flanks. I don't know if those flanks belong to the same individual or not. Then I just need more picture to put the two and two together. And recently, like in Olifants West, I had actually quite a few what I call temporary individuals where I only have one side of the flank. And then someone shared a picture of the back of the leopard. That was enough to put the two and two together, and I created another 3 or 4 ID kits just thanks to those type of pictures. So again, any angle is enough to help us put 2 and 2 together and to create ID kits for new individuals. Okay, so here I just want to show you on the map when I took over Ingwe in November 2022. That's the amount of sighting that I had. And actually there's some here. I mean, some of them were like backlog sightings that have been shared. But then that's 2023. We already have quite a bit of an increase into the number of participants and the number of people who shared information. This is 2024. Again, getting more and more. And this is 2025. So it's each year separated. Sorry, I should have precise that. So that's in the beginning of the year, that's unique sightings that have been shared. And this is when we put all of them together. So we can see where sightings have been shared. You can see where we have gaps on the map, where some reserves or are not participating yet, or we have some of the areas, of course, are like some of the farms, which is a bit more challenging to get information. But that just shows you like how it's been increasing through time. And we're hoping to get more, to carry on like filling the gaps basically. So just look at that map carefully. If you know anyone who is part of the gaps there, please just contact them and ask them to join the network. Just encourage them basically. We just need more. Like it's a growing network, but we definitely need everyone to come on board and to help us having a better understanding there. So this is just to show all of these 12,000 images. We have over 5,570 unique sightings of leopard. So that's sighting of leopard at a specific time, date, and location. Location, date, and time. And this is basically throughout the years when we had the most sighting. However, you need to remember that these numbers are influenced by the number of people that are sharing information as well, right? So just to give you an idea of what's happening basically outside in Hoedspruit, there's quite a few sightings that have been happening over the last few years. So that one. So this graph here, I wanted to show you, like throughout the years, again, taking into account that some reserves came at different moments. But if we look, for example, in the Blue Canyon Conservancy, in 2023, there was 7 fully identified leopards that I got the information of. It doesn't mean there were only 7 leopards there, but that's the information that we got. Then in 2024, we had 15 different leopards that roam around in the Blue Canyon Conservancy. And in this year so far, we have identified 12 different ones. So here you can see they are the darker color, like for example, for Blue Canyon, there's 12 fully identified leopard, but there are still 4 that are under temporary ID, meaning I don't want to give them a full ID yet because, again, I'm not sure. Like the picture, I'm not too sure, are they unique or are they maybe other, they can be a match together. So it's just to give a bit of an idea. In Hoedspruit town, last year, so like what I call Hoedspruit town basically, it's not right in Pick and Pay or La Bomba. It's just like any of the leopard that have been found outside the boundaries of the reserve, basically. A lot on the R40. So there's been 8 different leopards that have been found just outside those boundaries. If we look at in Thorny Bush, where in 2023 I had like 10 different individual leopards, but at that time, like there was not a lot like a huge amount of information coming from thorny bush. I had a couple, so that's definitely an underestimate. But then this year, there's been so much more participation. We've identified 21 different leopards that have been roaming around in thorny bush. So that's basically here you can look, depending on where your area of interest, like what's the minimum number of leopards that we have identified that are inside those reserves. Knowing that also some of the areas share leopards. So like thorny bush and Kapama, you showed on a map just now, but they're sharing leopards, of course, because I mean, they all cross the road constantly. Blue Canyon and the Hoedspruit Game Reserve are sharing leopards. Hoedspruit, Raptor's View, Cayenne Glovu, the rest of Hoedspruit are also sharing different leopards. So it's just to give you an idea, basically, of the number of leopards. And like some of them, like there might be only one. For example, Pusamoya only have one leopard that's been identified in 2023. It doesn't mean there is 0 leopard at the moment, not just new ones that we have identified where we had enough data to confirm the real population. Okay. So what I can tell you for sure is that out of all of the data that have been collected, we have fully identified 200 leopards. On the dot, I did the whole calculation yesterday, exactly 200 leopards where we have all of the different sizes, all the different sizes, sorry, not in sizes, but size. And actually, interestingly, it's 46% female, 46% male. I didn't tweak the data, I promise. It's just what the number gave me from the platform. And 8% where it's unknown. So those are individuals that are fully identified, where we have all of the picture. But I'm sure I haven't seen a good enough picture to know what the sex of the individual is, basically. So all of these leopards have been sighted at least once in the area, so we have coordinates for them. And this 200 individual doesn't include any of the 64 ID kits I've received from reserves that are not officially participating. So I have people that have been sharing ID kits saying, like, I just want you to know that's what we have, although they're not participating yet to the network. But there's probably these 64 ID kits that I have received. I've run them all out on the platform, and they were not a match to any of our current leopards. So let's say we have 264 leopards that for now we know in the area. This is just a number that we have. It doesn't mean, again, that that's all we have. That's kind of like probably like our minimum, because we're going to have more. But throughout the years and with everyone's participation, we're going to carry on building those numbers and get closer and closer and closer to the real population of leopards in the area. And then we can start understanding, is it getting stable throughout the years? Are they decreasing? Are they increasing? Then we can start looking at the health of the whole population. And all of this is just thanks to people like you participating to the research. And that's a huge help, because by ourselves and just by us putting camera trap and doing camera trap surveys in different areas, we'll never get to those numbers. So I really mean it when I say it's a collaborative effort, and everyone has a role to play to help us achieve what we want to achieve. All right, so here I want to show you 3 videos. I'm very happy about those videos. It took me months to get the right code to create them. So I hope you will enjoy them. If you don't, I've enjoyed them thoroughly, so anyway. So basically, this is just like a map that shows the reserves that are participating to the network, and the whole area that is like uncompensated by our work. So what I'm going to show you now is going to be sightings of leopards. And what I've done to create those videos in those maps is that when there's been a sighting in that one location and in another, we created lines that basically show the movement of the leopards through time. So the first point here is November 2022, and it's going to be up to the 1st of May 2025. So I haven't created those videos for every single individual, because otherwise you would not see anything anymore. So I've just selected some of them. So I'm going to show you the males, some of the males that I selected. Then I'm going to show you some of the females. and then I'm going to show you when both of them are together. Okay, let's go. So let's see if some of you can guess which individuals are they, depending on where they're from. So these are only the males, basically. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're on 12 different ones, or 11. I can't count. It's going to start again, just because it's cool, and then I will explain. So some of them. So I think honestly, I can't remember every single one of them right now. But this one is a blue bank male that has been in the Hoedspruit area for a very long time. In yellow here, it's Tlanga, who was a leopard from the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate, who disappeared for 6 months, 8 months. No one knew where he went to. And then Kapama actually one day shared a sighting of Tlanga and was like, Marine, we have this beautiful leopard with green eye. Do you know who it is? And I was like, oh my word, yes, it's Tlanga. So happy to know that he actually dispersed. And is it going to start again? Oh no, wait, hold on. I just want to go to the end there. Oops. So that's Tlanga here, when he was born in the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate and then dispersed, and now he's taking over the northern west corner of Kapama. I think that might be, I can't remember, I think it might be a male called Gwigwi. No comment on the name. I don't get involved. Then in orange, I think that's the leopard called Matimba, who is covering Hoedspruit and Raptor's View, so like how it's been moving around. Here I want to mention that pattern here is quite interesting. So in pink, orange, whatever color you choose, this is Kuzile. So Kuzile, he is a leopard that was born in Raptor's View from a female called Mbilu, who herself was born in the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate. And I think Mbilu's mother is actually Kulua, so maybe someone is going to correct me. But so basically Kuzile, when he dispersed from the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate, he dispersed with his brother, Medupi, who was a female at the start, became a male. That's great, it was a better picture. So Kuzile dispersed. Then when he dispersed, he encountered a male leopard called Muluri or Shivati. He had 2 different names. They had a big fight because Kuzile is actually a very big leopard, but Muluri, which also another cool story, he was a big male leopard he was like 10 or 11 years old. When Kuzile came in, he was trying to basically take over Muluri's. Muluri, unfortunately, was hit by the train and died. And then it's very, of course, very sad, but it's been very interesting to see how Kuzile, after Muluri disappeared, how he took over his whole territory. And he started mating with some of the females, actually. And hopefully, he has his first babies. So these are like really interesting information. Recently, I found out that Muluri, that we didn't know where he came from. I had no information about him. So someone shared ID kits of leopard in the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate from 10 years ago. I can't remember what was the name of that leopard. But then it was pictures of a very young male leopard. And then I realized that young male leopard that no one knew where he disappeared 10 years ago was actually Muluri. So 10 years later, we are able to say, yes, that leopard actually made it to adulthood, dispersed, and was a successful and dominant individual. So there's millions of stories like that with all of the data that are being collected. And this is also crucial for us to understand when the individuals are dispersing, are they being successful? Are they having cubs? Like what is happening in the whole population, basically? And I think this is very powerful also for us to understand the whole dynamic in the area. In blue here, this is Nsakelo, I think I mentioned earlier. Nsakelo is a male leopard from the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate. Same, he disappeared for, I can't remember, 8 months. And we were so worried. I think he dispersed last year. We were so worried that maybe he had been hit on the road because no one knew, or that he'd been caught in a snare or poison or anything. No one knew where he went. Then someone I think it was in one of the citrus farm, sent me a message and saying, oh, look, we have this beautiful leopard lying down under one of the trees. And I just couldn't believe my eye that it was actually in Sakelo. And since then, we lost his, I don't know where he is again, but then he moved, he was found to another location, and then he went to Chukudu that are also helping out. And so we finding him disappear, and someone told me actually, I think recently, that they think it's back on the farm there. So I'm just waiting to get the picture to confirm. So again here, it's telling us how successful they are dispersing. And then the final one I want to mention is the one on top there. So that's a male leopard called the wild dog dam male. I think he might have another name, but let's keep with the wild dog dam. That leopard has been recorded by the team at Klesiri and Zumba. They sent me, I had the first camera trap images of that leopard in 2022, mid-2022. And then one day again he dispersed. So now Nzumba is feeling very sad because their leopards disappear. The team that is working in Wild River at Rikia Lodge goes and traverses in excellence. They send me a picture again and be like, Maureen, we have a beautiful male leopard. Please can you let us know if you know who it is? Put it on the AI tell me it's a wild dog dam male. Amazingly, that leopard was sighted, I think at 6:45 in the morning by the team at Rikia in excellence. Then at 8:45 or 8:15, the team from Akumu, back in the Klasiri, had the sighting of that leopard also. And I just couldn't believe it because in an hour and a half, that leopard traveled 27 Ks. And I told both team, I told them, one of you is lying to me. One of you is telling me wrong picture, wrong time, check with both of them. They all confirmed that was the right sighting. And that's been amazing to see also how they dispersed. Then he just went back once to the Klashiri, and now he's settling and trying to get a bit of a piece of territory there with other of the big males that are in Olifants West. Okay. I could talk for hours about this. I hope you guys don't get too bored. Okay, now let's look at the females. Sorry. Here's the wild dog dam male that travel, so you can have a bit of an idea. This is actually the top there. I forgot about him. That's a male from Selati. They shared a camera trap image from 2022 also. Recently, the team in Rukia, again, Wild River, shared a picture, and it's actually a male from Selati. So he traversed all the way from Selati to Wild River, and if you go on a straight line, it's 27 Ks as well. But however, the first picture I had from him was 2022, and now it was a picture from 2025. So no idea where he's been. I have some gaps there in the information, but at least I know he dispersed basically. And then there's Ikwindla. Ikwindla, he's a young male leopard from the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate, mother being Zaha. And Ikwindla, last time he was seen, I think it was 23rd of May in the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate. I'm wondering now, because of what the AI showed, you're going to tell me these pictures are very bad. Yes, they are very bad. But basically, the AI is telling us that Ikwindla here could be, Ikwindla here could be a match to a leopard that was seen recently in Ndlumbumzi, which is another 20 plus Ks, basically. So I haven't confirmed it yet, because I don't know, maybe we can do a vote. But do you think these pictures are the same or not? I'm still hesitating. I haven't done a match yet, because I'm waiting to get more pictures for Ndlumbumzi to know, did Ikwindla recently disperse and move up there? And where did he cross through? So, yeah, waiting for more footages from there. We can do, I don't know if you want to do a bit of a vote. It's a bit of a difficult one. I often put those type of pictures on social media and ask for people's point of view. It's quite interesting. Quite often I do this when I'm really not sure, and it helps sometimes knowing what all of you think as well. So, mystery, stay there for now, but it would be amazing because he hasn't been seen in the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate since then, basically. So, where is Ikwindla? Hopefully we'll find out very soon. Okay, let's look at the females. Also starting end of 2022 up to today. So in pink here is Mbilu, that female that was born in the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate. In pink, I mean the other pink, there is Zaha in the corner of the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate. Over there, Zaha. That's a female called, I'm going to have a, what's her name? It's Kapama LF18. I can tell you, she has a name. Forgot it now. Can't remember. Oh, damn it. Where's the team from Kapama there? It's been around. Who's that leopard there? The female that has a funny look. What, the female with a funny look that has a cap now that looks like her? Yes, Shijulu. Thank you. That's what Shijulu. That has a cat that looks exactly like her, which is very interesting. Sorry, I got distracted now. So, like, we'll see throughout time the different female, and I think the patterns is quite different from males, like showing already that the female are dispersing, which is expecting, much like they don't disperse as far from home as the males do, which, you know, you all know that the males need to leave, so like in terms of inbreeding, to avoid like genetic inbreeding basically. So they have to be leaving the area of birth so they can go and mate with other female rather than with their sisters and mothers. So it's mainly like it's much more condensed basically where the females are in the area. Yeah, who is that? Can't remember who is who now, to be honest. Yeah, but like you can see the big difference between the males and the female already. And then that one is going to click. So that one's going to be a mix between the males and the females. So the males are going to have dashed, yeah, the wide road, dashed lines basically, compared to the female. So you can see how it's all going to overlap. It's going to become a bit of a mess with a lot of colors that won't be like as visible. But I'm going to prepare also for all of the different reserves that are involved, prepare those videos with just the individuals in it, so everyone can see a bit better what's happening in their reserves. Now imagine this with 200 leopards, that would be a bit much, so that's why we're breaking it down. But yeah, so basically that's why also we've been able to do with all of your sightings, understanding how far they disperse, are they dispersing successfully or not, how one individual is taking over another individual's territory through time because one gets older. All of this information we have because, I mean, thanks to all of you participating basically, and to all of the lodges, of course. Okay. So now I just want to move on to so basically with all of our citizen science data, we have an understanding of what's happening in the whole area, right? But then what allowed us also is to understand some of the threats that some of the leopards are facing. So what I'm going to talk about now is another research project called our Road Ecology Project. And that project started because last year we lost 7 leopards on the roads and 1 by the train. So we don't know, last year, was it a very bad year, like a terrible year for leopards, and it was just a once-off incident? Or is it actually a threat that is occurring more regularly than we know, and then maybe we need to do something about it? So this year so far, we haven't lost any leopards on the road, which is great. So all of what happened last year, motivated us to understand, is the R40 specifically a threat to the wildlife in the area? Maybe it's not, maybe it is. If it is, then we want to do something about it. So I just want to give you a bit of information about it and what you can do actually to help us with that project, because we need you. So sorry for the graphic images. So that's one of the leopard that was hit. half of them we could identify through our database. The other 4, we didn't know who they were, actually. So that's just some of the roadkill that have been recorded. So as I said, our aim with that road ecology project, which is 3 different sub-projects, one is to understand where are the roadkills hotspot in the area on the R40. Where is the R40 most dangerous for animals? Then is like, where are animals crossing the most on the R40? And then is, are the animals using the culverts, the underpasses, under the road to cross safely? So we are looking at 3 different approaches. And for a lot of the data, again, we count on you to help us and to supply those data. So here, these are data on like wildlife crossing. All of these points there are mammals, reptiles, and leopard crossing. So sorry, let's talk to mammals and reptiles first. So all of these points are data that have been recorded by all of you through the WhatsApp groups that I'm going to share at the end of this presentation. A WhatsApp group that you can join, and just whenever you drive around, you can tell us when you've seen any animal that is crossing the R40. It doesn't matter if it's a vervet monkey, a baboon, or a civet, or anything. We care about every single wildlife species out there. For the leopards crossing that we have there, basically those information, we got them by linking the sighting that I showed you earlier. And by linking all of the sighting, we have an idea, roughly, of where potentially the leopards are crossing. It's not precise, but it's just giving us a rough idea of where we know crossing are happening. So if we make it into a heat map, so that shows like hotspots of where crossing are happening. So as expected a lot between Thorny Bush and Kapama, the leopards are crossing constantly on the Guernsey Road. Then you can see also, I mean, around just after the, that one, the junction there in town, there's also quite a few wildlife crossing has been recorded. And then what you can see as well on the map is where we lost leopards. So just before, this one here, that the one that was hit by the train, that's Muluri, was hit by the train. So it's not a roadkill, it's a train kill. That's a roadkill from a male. Roadkill, roadkill, roadkill. The one on top there, the female, we unsure. She was found on the side on the road. We don't know if she was hit by the car and then stumbled away, and she would be like a representative of the leopard that actually do get hit, but don't die on impact and just leave, or something else happened. But there was no mark of like fight or anything with that leopard. So potentially she was killed on the road. And then the 2 on top, there are 2 females also that were hit on the R40 towards Palabova. Now, what we've been doing as well is conducting patrols on the R40. So I think some of you maybe have seen the car driving up and down at 50k an hour for 14 days in a row. That was me. That was every morning, just going from the R40, R531 T-junction all the way to 3 Bridges. So sorry if it created a bit of a slowdown on the road every morning, but it was necessary information. So we recorded 36 unique roadkills for during those 14 days period, which is mammals and birds. And you can see already quite a lot actually were after town. So that's what we recorded on our side. Then that's what you all recorded, because we have another WhatsApp groups where you can also share roadkills there. It's not a beautiful WhatsApp group. The pictures there are quite graphic, and it's not very nice to look at it, but that's also the reality, and it also creates awareness to people. So I think there's 180 people on that WhatsApp group. We need more. We need more of you to help us understand what is happening on our road, basically. So again, birds, mammal, and reptiles that have been recorded. So our study focuses on the R40, but we do welcome any data on some of the biggest roads as well, because maybe our focus should be on another road, actually. So that's going to give us also some indication for another stage. So here again, a heat map showing the hotspots where most of the roadkill are happening. So we can potentially start seeing a bit of a trend also from Hoedspruit up to 3 Bridges. That might be because of the road characteristic. After town, the road is much more hilly, so it goes up and down, up and down. There are some bends, while before town, the road is much more flat. So perhaps we all need to be more careful when we're driving when we are after town, because the visibility is not as good as it is in the first side. So all of this also helps creating awareness and potentially changing everyone's behavior on the road and being like, okay, I know here it's a high roadkill mortality. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah, you understand what I mean. So that's what we're trying to do, but we need more information because we only started getting the first data in February, and we did the roadkill survey now, just finished in June. We're going to repeat in July, repeat in August, and repeat again in the whole wet season, because there's going to be differences between both seasons. But we need more information from all of you as well. So here, as I said, we're also monitoring the culverts. So on the R40, there are camera traps that have been set up to look if wildlife is using the underpasses under the road. So we've been lucky that almost every single properties that we started surveying allowed us to put our camera traps inside the fences to reduce theft. So here are just some cool videos about the leopards using the culverts and going through some of the fences. That's a non-electrified fence, by the way. Yeah. So that's been fantastic. One of the day that we set up a camera trap to actually record, sorry, it was very exciting, to record that, like that type of things. It was myself, one of my students who is somewhere around there, who's doing her master's, there. She's doing her master's thesis on the camera trap survey. It was myself, Tanis, and then another volunteer. We were all three busy setting up the cameras. Then when we hear the impala alarm calling, and then I'm like, okay, everyone just quiet. And then the leopard went behind, like 2 meters behind those two girls. It was me and the two girls. The leopard went behind and shoot through the culvert in front of us. So that was absolutely mind-blowing. I tried to record it. I had about like 1 second of that culvert, of that leopard going through. So it was fantastic to actually see them doing this like in front of us. We were like, yay, go girl, you've done it. Rite of passage. So it's been quite fantastic. Here's just another one. Look at this gorgeous male. I think it's a male. So they're actually going from Oliphant's west side into another property called Corkwood. That's where they're going through. Now you are like, what's happening? I know, I don't know neither. I think he went through. I know it's a bit frustrating, I know. But basically, yeah, so that leopard, I think it went through just because actually an hour and a half later, we have a video of a leopard. I don't know if it's the same. I'm still running the AI on those images of a leopard going through again, back through the fence and going through. So I think it did find a place to cross. So we have amazing footages that we are going to be sharing about the leopards using the culverts, but also all of the species, because civets and porcupine and mongoose are also using them. We also found out that so many bats are actually using the culverts to roost. Like so many of them have the bats inside, which is been quite amazing. So yeah, we're trying to understand which culverts are being used, which one are not being used. We are looking at, I think, 20 plus different variables that might influence the use of culverts. And then if the animals are actually using those culverts, what can be done, has been done in other places in South Africa by the Endangered Wildlife Trust on the N3, that they added low erected fences on each side of the culvert, and they realized that the animals, when they were hitting the fence, they were actually, instead of just going over, although they could, I mean, not all of them, but like some of them could, they just follow the fence and just go under and use the culverts. The same way as your game pass function, basically. The animal learn that this is a good way, this is a good place to follow, and then that's what we are hoping to do on those culverts, to try to find out where exactly we should encourage animals to cross the road safely. Okay. So I'm not going to go into detail, but basically with all of this type of data, we're just looking at different solutions. We don't have the solution yet, because like many people, when we started that project, were like, Marine, please just put a sign up there. I'm like, where? Where do you want me to put a sign? And also, signs might differ according to the wet season and the dry season. And then there's driver habituation. Who looks at the signs with the kudu or the elephants anymore? No one does. No one looks at them anymore. How? I don't think it influenced any of us driving that road. So that is, I think people are urging us to do something, but if we don't have the data, we're not going to do anything. We need the information before we can implement long-term mitigation measures, and you can be part of it. So that QR code there, if you scan that QR code, I will add it also at the end, you can join the WhatsApp group with the wildlife crossing and the roadkills as well. Again, not a pretty group, but that's what's happening on the roads, basically. And just want to say a final thank you to the different sponsors that have been helping us. The ANAV system, ANAV is actually owned by a company that is based in the US and Portugal, and the resident, the owner of ANAV is actually has a holiday house in Raptors View. So they've been sponsoring quite a big amount of our road ecology project, and it's thanks to them that we could do that work. Trophy Travel also, that are just outside the Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate, has been sponsoring us with a vehicle to do all of the survey. So massive thank you to them as well for the support, and please support them back by choosing local people rather than, just the outsiders. I talked to Ari just now. Black Sheep, the French agency that is also basically has been giving money to Ingwe every year through their travel agency. Leopards Band, they've been sponsoring our uniforms, so very grateful about that. And then there's private donors that have been also giving specifically to that project. I'm thinking about the Bailey family who give us money after they lost their cat in Gala to a road accident. And they've been donating the money to help us fund our work, also our road ecology work. So these type of donation and support are vital for such a small organization than ours. And then the last one is Arid Wine. So I think some of you might know about it. But Arid Wine, they are a local, a South African winemaker from Stellenbosch. And we've been working together for about 2 years. They're a small winemaker, but that's why we're working together, because we're too small, basically helping one another. And Arid Wine is now finally being distributed in Hoedspruit at Industrial Liquor. And anyone who is buying wine at Industrial Liquor is helping fund Ingwe. So the more you drink wine, the more money we get. We get 5% of all of the sales to Ingwe, and that's massive. So tonight we have wines that is for sale as well. 100% of the sales is going to Ingwe for tonight. The prices are all what we give to the lodges, so they all at a 20% discount. So if you want some wine, if you want to support conservation, you should definitely support conservation. Then please get some wine, but please do not have it while you're having dinner here. Please have it because the idea is to support, the parallel call, and I don't want to undercut them, So they tell me, please go and sell the wine, but, please drink the wine here. So basically some of the wine, please, that's an easy way to support us. If you know anyone that has a lodge also, we're trying to get them in as many lodges as possible. So just an easy way to give us a hand, basically. That's a cool poster I'm holding now, so anyway. Cool. Thank you so much. If you have any questions. Sorry, it's freezing. I hope you are still alive. Any question?
Your QR
Yeah.
code.
Yeah.
The QR.
Yes. The QR code is here again. Thank you. So please join the group. I'll have to agree for you to join the group, just because we got a lot of spams recently. So I just agree. I'm just allowing people one at a time. So please just be a bit patient on that. Yeah. Any questions? So Kyle is asking, is with the AI platform, the African Carnivore White Book, is it all AI done or is it human checking? So the AI gives us best matches opportunity, but it is the responsibility of a human to confirm the match. So which is the best, honestly. It allows us to go through all of it because sometimes the AI can give us a score and I'm like, I completely disagree with you. I don't think it's actually the same, and then I can look at others. So as a human, we have to confirm every single matches. So all the 400 plus images, it has to still be, still need to go through one at a time. Just by the way, that platform is also being used by EWT, Contemplate Wild for the wild dogs. All of the cheetahs in the area are there. Botswana Conservation Predator is also on the platform. I think we are over 40 different organizations in Southern Africa that are using that platform. So, yeah, so the AI platform, it was developed by a Canadian NGO called Tech for Conservation. So they help with the development of all of that platform. However, the mother company is called WildMe, which is a US-based company. And WildMe, they created those wild books. I think there's 56 different species that are being covered. So dolphins and sea turtles and whales and zebras, giraffe, like Giraffe Conservation Fund, they're all using this platform also to monitor the giraffe population. So it's a US-based company, and what is amazing that it's all free. It's all free of charge. Yeah. Hello. Yeah? Yeah, you? So the question is, how did I get to South Africa? I met a South African person. in Belgium during a master in conservation, you know. Yeah. 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 So the question is, like, how do we match the different leopards, and are the spot patterns unique from one leopard to another? Yes, they are. So the spot pattern of a leopard is like your fingerprints. It's unique per individual. So that's how we're matching and putting two and two together. Yeah. So the question is, like, out of all of the roadkill that have been reported, is it mainly domestic animal or leopard kills? So what the leopards are eating? Yeah. So that's different to the roadkills data. You mean? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, leopards basically, they're quite an opportunistic species. So they will hunt what is the easiest to hunt. So some, like their most basic prey are your like medium-sized prey, like your impalas. It can be some warthogs, nyalas. Every now and then you will have some leopard that might target with bigger species, but they can also go and hunt scrub hare and porcupine. Basically, they will, depending on what's available, what is in front of them, they are going to target it. Some leopards are known. I think there's one in Kruger, leopard in Kruger. I think his name was Porky. He was just found, actually, he died now, but he was very old. And he was named Porky because his preferred prey species were porcupines. So it depends on what it's a bit of a funny one, but yeah. Yeah. So the question is, regarding the road collision, what are the proposed solutions? So again, we're looking at many different possibilities. So the first one, as I said, is the low erected fences to try to funnel the animals to use those culverts. But what there's one solution that has never been tried in South Africa yet, that I just want to, is this basically, it's a solution that's been deployed massively in South America, where they have also like a huge roadkill issue. So what they've done here, they put where they identify with those massive wildlife crossings. So they have the hotspot. They know animals are crossing here a lot. They put these radars that are, I don't know how many meters. I can't remember how many meters away, but let's say 20 meters away. And then whenever there's an animal that is going through in between those radar, drivers get a signal way ahead saying, "Be careful, animals on the road, animal crossing." So this is, I don't know if it will work in South Africa. Like, we have different challenges, but in South America, they had a 90% decrease in the road kills. So potentially, that's something that we could look at. And we're quite lucky that our sponsor, they are a flight tracking company that are basing everything on radar. So potentially we could try this in South Africa. I know there's been a researcher, I think she's from Wits University, that she has been looking at this. So perhaps we could try this here in Hoedspruit and be like, could that be tried here? If that works, can we deploy it in other areas in South Africa? That's kind of what we are thinking about. But we need information. There's no guarantee it will work. It's going to be a trial and error, basically. Yeah. Any other ideas are welcome also. We are looking at innovative way of doing things. All right. Cool.
Are you selling bags as well?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you can say quickly. Sorry, there's also cool Ingwe bags if you want to get them. I really want to get rid of them, so please buy them. They're lovely. That's my handbag, personally. Like with the I am a citizen scientist at the back, the 250 rand. And then for the bottles of wine, the prices are there as well. Thank you.